whether we know it or not. We've experienced it by moving to this new location, which is a beautiful room. And so tonight, Grace is going to lead us in a discussion, I believe, about what are we going to do the rest of our lives as wine and diners. Let's please welcome Grace back.
Thank you, Dick. One of the things that those who've only been to Presentation Pros meetings might not know is other clubs vote for best speaker, best evaluator, best table topics. We won't be doing table topics tonight, but I think it still would be fun to listen carefully to what everyone says and see who participates really well in the discussion in whatever criteria you might choose to think of the way we move from a very mature club maybe back to a verdant club. One of the big questions that we're facing right now because of the situation with the need to meet somewhere, and if we were going to be a dinner club, how do we solve the problem that a lot of people don't really want to go to dinner versus the ones that really do want to go to dinner. But even if we all wanted to go to dinner, if we don't have enough people to go to dinner, there's no restaurant that will give us a room to meet in for free. And so the biggest question facing us is, should Whine and Dine remain a dinner club, or should we think about a different kind of meeting? Maybe a meeting like this. Maybe there's some other possibilities that have been talked about. This particular venue is available to us the fourth Monday through October, if we want to take advantage of it. It's not a regular meeting night, but it might work for a few months just to get us some sea legs. But we also there might be some groundswell of desire to stay a dining club. So let's talk a little bit about that. We call ourselves Whine and Dine, but do we need to be a dinner club? Do we want to be a dinner club? Let's hear what people really want to do. I like going out to dinner myself, just to put it out there. I like it, but I don't really care. I'm okay either way. Lynn?
Sure. Well, as a Whine and Dine member, I enjoy going to the dinners and seeing everybody there, but I don't need it. I'm there because I want to practice not only my leadership skills, but my vocal variety and my speaking skills. So if I have to pick, I will pick an area where I can practice to become a more sufficient speaker and learn the skills of becoming a better speaker. And it seems like it's really hard for you and the membership to maintain the minimum amount to make it financially doable to meet at a restaurant. If we could order off a menu and it didn't make any difference and the room was free, it would be fun to do that. But so if that isn't an option, then just meeting once a month here is good with me.
Mm-hmm. Katie?
Thank you so much. I'm a little hesitant to jump in too much since I'm not currently a member, but I'll throw in my 2 cents anyway. One way to accomplish dinner and meeting is to have a dinner location where it's simply fellowship prior to the meeting, and then go to the meeting place. Then you wouldn't have to have a certain number. Everybody would order off the menu. You might reserve a table, let them know you're coming so that they have it set up for 10 or 15 people. But it would just separate the Whine from the Dine.
And is that a suggestion of having a different place?
Right. Then you
So-
could go to different restaurants, you could, the restaurant part.
So you meet at a restaurant, then you meet at your meeting place.
Right. So we might have dinner at 5:30 and then meeting at 6:30 for example. Or quarter seven.
Elise?
What advantage does having dinner add to the club?
When the club was first engaged, there were two advantages to dinner. One, it gave us a place to meet, which isn't automatic. And two, it gave us an opportunity to speak in a different environment than a meeting room like this. Speaking in a restaurant is more challenging than speaking in a room like this. So that was the original thinking. I saw some hands over here. Michael?
Will a restaurant give separate checks if there's more than 8 people? Because I found 8 seems to be the number where the waitress refuses to then give separate checks.
We've been able to work that particular thing out at every restaurant where we've ever met. So, yeah, we can handle that. Larry?
Yeah, suggest, how about a wine and potluck? Because essentially, because eating is the issue, and then eating and then speaking, you can do that in this venue if they would allow you to eat here. They may not, but
We can.
But you don't even have to make anything. You can go, everybody buy takeout, bring it all. You all share. And then you continue the meeting. You're just not being served. You're eating, and you can do that in any building.
Yeah.
Bring food here?
Yes, we can bring food in. It's a little more complicated. We have to pack out everything that we bring in, but we've done it. We have had major snacks from time to time, 2 or 3 times a year. Anyone else, Lynn?
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, Whine and Dine was set up so that we as speakers could speak through all the distractions of a banquet and people coming across and moving and serving food and the clanking and stuff like that. To me, it defeats the purpose to just bring in food and just take a little break and get your food and everything people eat and stuff like that. It's not the same thing. What you want to do is to learn to speak through distractions. That was the whole purpose of it. So if you take away the distractions, then you're just feeding your tummy and you're just having a meeting. So I don't think the food is necessary unless you want to have that same venue. So
Yeah, the special thing we did was we worked through the issues of speaking at a meal. Michael, you came to Whine and Dine and just recently joined thinking it was a dinner club. What would happen to your view of the club if it was a meeting more like this?
Nothing. Eating is not big. It's more of an obstacle as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather meet in a situation like this.
Okay. Anybody else? Tom?
Well, for example, Presentation Pros is a specialty club, isn't it?
Yes, that's our official.
That's what Whine and Dine was supposed to be, a specialty club, advanced speakers. Well, it couldn't quite sustain itself. I think there needs to be some reason for it to come other than just a meeting that could go to other clubs. All of us belong to several other clubs. It's a different group of people. So there should be a reason. So what if we had run-in pizza one night? What if we had a humor night? What if we changed it, made it different? Every month you had some other emphasis of speaking. That's different. And I think a monthly club needs something different to attract people.
So what I'm hearing is that you're talking about, what if we did practice different ways of incorporating food? What if we thought about creative ways to create our meeting that are not just the same meeting over and over again, but something special and something that might be interesting to people who already have a regular club somewhere?
That's what Lynn is, I think, getting at. It should be something different.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
reason.
Okay. Christine?
I second Tom's what Tom says, because one of the unique differentiators for Whine and Dine
could be that it offers everyone a chance to do things that we cannot do at our regular clubs, especially when it comes to longer speeches. There are several menus I won't even touch because I look at it and it's like 20 minutes. Who's going to give me 20 minutes? And by having a flexible format where we're not hemmed into like 3 speakers. Somebody wants to do a longer speech, we work it into the program, and we may have maybe just one speech and a longer evaluation of table topics. But it should be I think that would be Whine and Dine's greatest strength. Plus, as Dick had said at our board meeting, this is literally one of the only clubs where everyone gets to meet together. Otherwise, I would have
networking.
Pauline or Nathan, because I'm not in any of the same clubs. So I think bringing people together in one spot once a month is something that we may have overlooked in terms of the value it brings to all of us personally.
Yeah, good, very good point, Christine. That community and Dick. Nathan, let's go on to the next page because it's a natural transition.
Should I summarize what we have here so far? Just because I don't know if everybody's reading this or...
Well,
I'm comfortable.
Okay. Next question.
and this is...
But you might push the...
So if not a dinner club, what kind of club might we be? Elise?
When I first saw Whine and Dine, and you invited me to come, I'm a connoisseur of wine, so I thought I was going to see a lot of wine.
Except that one time you were there, we
A lot of free wine, and so could it be just a wine and cheese? Wine
And cheese. Yeah.
wine and dine, a different wine for each one.
Okay. So did you get that down, Nathan? Wine. There's a few of our members who are extremely fond of wine, I have to say. I won't mention any names. One of the some of the ideas, there were ideas that were already
Wine and cheese.
there were some other suggestions that have been made via email and we talked about at our board meeting. We talked about what if we had a couple of meetings a year, we had a special event. Maybe we had our Thanksgiving dinner somewhere, or we had a picnic in the park, that kind of thing, where we organized an event that was a dining event, but that the club focus on leadership. Because we always have been a leadership club. We always have mentored leaders in the community. We have always been leaders in the community, in the Toastmasters community, and the greater community. But we haven't formalized that aspect of our club, of providing that kind of focus on leadership. Christine?
Oh, and for this year, can we throw in organizing a Tall Tales local sort of speaker-thon or conference?
Yeah, we missed our Tall Tales. We could have a special Tall Tales meeting. That would be a great idea. The other thing coming up, as a Pathways ambassador, I have heard that we really are going to be getting into the Pathways program in September. And is everybody here heard of Pathways? Raise your hand if you have not. Okay. Toastmasters has created an entirely new educational program. Well, the whole shebang is going to be new.
Genetically modified.
It's been genetically modified, and we are all going to be verdant in this subject because we know everybody is going to start as a beginner. We think of ourselves now as the experienced Toastmasters who know everything, and some of us in this room are extremely experienced. Some of us have been district governors. Some of us have been division governors or division directors. Many of us have had other district roles, and all of a sudden we're going to have a brand new program, and there's going to be a lot of training that's involved, and a club that could provide, who had the experience and the wealth of knowledge of the current program, who also had the ability to train on the new program, that could be something that Whine and Dine could provide. That doesn't sound as much fun as wine and cheese as I look over at the board, but wine with or without an H. And the other thing is that has been mentioned is that we can always have food in this. We could, in a room like in this room or in a room like this, we can all. It would be part of the duty of somebody in the meeting. Maybe we would have snack masters or something like that. But what other ideas? What other ideas can a club like ours?
So Grace, the district is going to have a big change coming up in the next 24 months. Las Vegas is going to split off as its own district. And it's very likely that E will split probably in the next 24 months. So we'll have 4 areas in Santa Barbara plus their own division, which means we'll need 4 area governors, 1 division governor. We need to focus on the next crop of leaders. And if we don't do it here, where are we going to do it? This is really, it's going to go from 3 leaders in Santa Barbara to 5 every year. Great opportunities, but they're going to need support and training.
And that would be sometime over the next 24 months.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Start now.
Any other wild and crazy ideas for?
What do you do when you merge the 2 clubs? Is the one then closed down and it just becomes...
Which 2 clubs are you?
Whine and Dine and Presentation Pros.
Okay, that's a good question, and that probably isn't as clear as it might be. Presentation Pros meets the 2nd Monday of every month in this room. By virtue of our long standing with the Airport Administration Building, and we haven't broken the room yet, after 15 years of meeting here, they allowed us to increase the number of nights that were available, and so I said, what if we, so I booked 10 additional nights. These were, originally we were thinking of these as bonus, Presentation Pros bonus meetings, and we did officer training, makeup officer training here. We did, Christine did a presentation on listening that was
Advanced Communicated Goals.
and that was her last check mark for her DTM. Maria Zaria did a similar type of presentation here for evaluation. And in all of these cases, we've invited the entire Toastmaster community, including the people up north, and we've had people come to these events. We packed the room, we had all the tables out, we went in the back room and got tables, and the whole room was filled with people. And so this is a way of building community involvement, building leadership, and providing opportunities for presenters to present in a meeting style in a way that they never would be allowed in their regular meeting. And we did this regularly. We've also had coaching for contest speeches, again inviting people. Just a month ago we had a coaching in this room and several people from the Lompoc Club came down and got some speech coaching for their the speech that was going to happen at the division level. And it was a really good coaching session. We've done that several times. So this is the kind of thing we've been doing in this room. It hasn't been a regular Presentation Pros meeting. And then when the situation came up with Whine and Dine, we said, well, what if we hosted Whine and Dine, and it would be their meeting, but and not that many Presentation Pros people. Raise your hand if you remember Presentation Pros. So And usually we fill the room with our regular members about like this, and tonight we have about 6 of our members who are here. So so we would stay separate clubs, but both during this time, if we met here for a while, both clubs would be invited to each other's meetings, and it probably would make right there a rich networking opportunity. And because there's a lot of leaders in both clubs, I think it would be a really good synergistic thing. But we may have a bigger, brighter idea that comes up between now and the time this discussion ends in about 4 or 5 more minutes.
Here's a technicality. If we merge the 2 clubs, does it count as loss of 1 club? And because these 2 clubs are in 2 different areas, not my area, fortunately. whose area?
Yeah, we're not talking about merging clubs. This is
You did merge it with this one.
the Presentation Pros would stay its own club. Whine and Dine would stay its own club. But that doesn't mean that we can't visit one another's clubs, and I'm a member of both clubs. So there would be any change in terms of club level, and there would be no loss of clubs. In fact, this would be a way to prevent a loss of a club. Dick?
Well, I like the wine and cheese, but I'd like to suggest expanding that. Bring your own lunch, and maybe we have something that we can share, especially a couple of bottles of wine. Make this thing lively, because this group, this club, has brought together leaders and different insights. This is what I like about this club, is I get a lot of input from all the other clubs, different ideas and different approaches. And so I hate to see it break up, because I think it offers a tremendous advantage for a typical Toastmaster to learn more, like we did tonight. We saw some excellent speeches that were so informative. Where are you going to get all that? Unless you get it right here.
Yeah. So there's other ideas are welcome. Does anybody have one right now? Lynn?
Well, from what I understand, is that Presentation Pros meets the second Monday. Are you proposing that Whine and Dine meets on a different day?
Yes.
And that Presentation Pros is invited on that different day, as well as we can join Presentation Pros on the second Monday? Or is it just going to be the second Monday from now on?
No.
What we're proposing is Whine and Dine meets here on the 4th Monday, because Presentation Pros has already booked a room for the fourth Monday of
Gotcha.
every month. So
Okay.
unless we find somewhere else to meet, or this gives us a spot to land in. Otherwise we didn't have a place to land in.
I understand it now clearly, that there's 2 different nights. I thought it was just one night and we were all going to come together. So I like that.
Me too. And it gives you, if you're paying your dues, it does give you 2 possible meetings rather than just 1 for your dues. So that gives you a little bit more bang for your buck.
Yeah,
And I like
exactly.
the idea about bringing your own food if you want to, because some people can't eat other stuff. And you bring, if you're hungry, you're hungry. If you don't, you're not. You're not.
You'll become hungry.
Yeah. We could.
You start eating off of your plate.
It is very easy for about $50 to make a not really nice spread of easy to eat food that you can put on a plate, and we put out a kitty, and so one person can gather up all this stuff with one trip to Trader Joe's, put it out on the table with beverages, and then everybody can throw in a few bucks if they want to. If they don't want to partake, they don't have to, but so we could fund the food that way and be about maybe $5 a person or something. So if you wanted to participate, it'd be about $5 a person. And that would be a kind of a compromise between one thing and the other. We have about maybe just a couple more minutes to continue this discussion. for tonight, although I think this is a discussion that needs to extend into other times and places and methods. But Katie, you have something on your mind?
I have two visions of other advanced clubs that I thought might be useful, because I'm not sure how many of you have been exposed to these two clubs.
Yeah.
One is a relatively long-standing club, Au, which is grounded in Ventura, although it often meets on the east side of the grade. And Au has something special, and their special thing is that they have an after-dinner speaker it's once a month, similar to this, and they every month invite a special person to do an after-dinner speech, which may be 20 to 30 minutes. There is a meal. They go to different restaurants, and there is a meal. They have the members do their speeches, and then everybody kicks back after the meal and listens to the invited speaker. That's something they advertise. They do a flyer about it. It definitely makes them special. The second club is ACE Toastmasters, which does have the criteria that you need to be an advanced person. And people always leave ACE going, I get the difference. I see the difference. Similar to Whine and Dine, where people come and say, I see the difference in this advanced club. The specialty item for ACE is we have a quarterly challenge, where one of the members will host the quarterly challenge and do something special. It might be all on humor, or it might be all on improv, or it might be all on the use of language within your speeches. That person is host for the evening. They may have a buddy for the improv. There were two people who presented, and the whole meeting pretty much focuses on that special. We went on your characteristics, where we went into quarters physically, and we took the quarter of the room, and the person was sharing with us, based on your personality types, this quarter is like this and this quarter is like this. It was very interesting to physically move around like that and talk to each other about how we work. That was then, of course, melded in with the two other times where we'd have more of a straightforward meeting, but have that opportunity for the advanced speeches.
Good. Those are some good ideas, and I love how, has everybody been noticing how all the ideas are magically appearing on the board? Thank you, Nathan, for doing that. It takes a special skill to be able to do that. Before I end, I would just like to say that although this room is available, there are other possibilities in our community. For example, we might be able to meet at the Salvation Army where Mission Chapter meets. We haven't asked them yet, and we might be able, if another night worked better for, I know that we have some football fans in this room who we wouldn't see as soon as football starts in September, huh? Tom, I can just see you. So that's an important thing to take into consideration. Different people have different schedules. We've been a Thursday club for about the last 10 years. We were a Wednesday club for a while, but we might want to find out from the people who would be interested in coming, if we have an idea of what kind of meeting we have, we would find out who would like to come and what nights they have available, and maybe we can figure out a way to accommodate everyone in one way or another. And I don't know exactly how that would be, but we have to find out who can come and who cannot, and we can't accommodate everybody in the world. Dick?
I'd like to suggest that we continue meeting here on Monday nights for a while and see what happens to our membership, because our membership is so dwindled so much. If they don't have to pay for food and that kind of thing,
I second.
they want they want a regular meeting place. This is a great place. So maybe some of our members that have fallen away will return.
Yeah, I think there's a great possibility of that. Yeah, Katie.
I just want to say that we're not a tiny club. I have that we're at 16, so the physical attending may have gone down, but it's still pretty strong in terms of
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's not. We're a paid, viable club, but we like to be at 20 members, and we aren't there right now. So it's time to wrap up because we want to hear evaluations for our beautiful speakers. I think that there's probably a consensus that we could meet at least next month on this particular date, and in the meantime we'll get all of the notes from this meeting out to all of our members and recent members. Ron has produced a video of our discussion, and I'll post that on YouTube, and everybody can watch that. Who isn't here tonight, they can watch it and see if they can participate in the discussion too. So thank you all for participating and really actively. If you can vote for someone who had the really best idea tonight, please do that, and please welcome back our Toastmaster Dick Temple.